Again, this is S.A. Ofure, founder and publisher for Inspire Magazine, and you're tuned in to Tuesday's Talks with me, S.A. And our theme for today's episode is building while healing. It's a very, very personal topic for me. I'm sure it's for a lot of y'all, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you just have a family that you're taking care of, or, you're career oriented and you're reaching that goal to get to whatever level of success you want. There's always something infiltrating or trying to infiltrate your journey, and you just got to figure out and manage. We have two guests for y'all today. I'm so excited to talk to these ladies. They both have two different backgrounds, but both can speak to our topic today, building while healing. I wanted to ask y'all this question, actually. Have any of you ever felt burnout, disconnected, or you feel like you're doing everything, but it's not okay? This conversation is for you. I hope you're going to be tuned in. Please drop your questions, your comments, and anything that you want to talk to my amazing guests about regarding building while healing. And there's so many ways that we all can transcribe that to our lives, but it's just something that we all can relate to, and we all need help in getting through that as well. So again, I can't explain what a great conversation this is. And with a quick check-in with Inspire Magazine, what's going on with us, right? A lot. We got more interns. I've created a mentorship program where I intern New York City high school students and college kids across the country. Very excited about that. And it's second quarter. It's go time for us. It's events. It's making sure our presence is felt, making sure people appreciate positive storytelling, authentic storytelling, because that's what Inspire is all about. And if any of you know any organizations, museums, libraries, connect us with them. We have programs that I am looking to infiltrate the system with to help educate our youth, providing them with some guidance and career development as well. So if any of you know any of those programs that we can collaborate with, please send us an email at inspiremagazine@gmail.com. We would love to connect. We would love to collaborate, because our mission this year is definitely just to, create programs, educate, enlighten our youth that there is a brighter tomorrow that's there for them, but they have to be ready for it because it's a lot going on. So that's what we got going on with Inspire. Quick check-in. All right, so my first guest, Global Peace Ambassador Dr. Veryl Howard, is a powerful, energetic, and versatile speaker, author, actress, casting director, producer, often described as a midwife who helps women birth what God has placed inside them. Amen to that. Their next dream, assignment, calling, or step of faith. Her mission is to inspire, uplift, and motivate audiences to walk boldly into their God-given purpose. And I am going to bring in Dr. Veryl Howard in so we can get this conversation started.
Yes, I am here. I'm so happy to be here. I see quite a few of my friends on here. I invited, they're chiming in. I see
Yes.
My assistant, Elder Tara. I see Prophetess Anna. She wrote the foreword to my book. I see Shamika on here. You all let me know you're on here. Shamika Ross is on here. She used to attend the church where I pastored. I see quite a few of them chiming in, and I'm excited that they're on here to support me tonight with whatever it is that you have to ask me. The rest of y'all, let us know that you're here. Let us know. She asked, where were you here from? I think Wood Ann is on here from Marion, South Carolina. Not sure, but it's a bunch of them on here tonight.
Listen, you got the support, and that's the thing that I notice is when you enter any spaces, your people who want to support you, they're going to show up for you because it's a testament to the work that you do. So to everybody's coming in and supporting, thank you. We appreciate y'all. And the support shines through here at Inspire Magazine. Listen, when I put the call out and it came quick, and that's another thing for me, I was a little nervous of reaching out to, getting guests for this. And I said, you know what could go wrong? You've been doing this for a long time. You have connections. So many amazing publicists and people that can connect you to people that are in alignment with growth, encouragement, enlightenment, and faith. So, and then here I go today with Dr. Veryl Howard. So I want to start off. Today's theme, is something very personal to me because these are things that we go through. And that's literally building while you're going through something, building, trying to be successful, life be giving you that left hook, right hook, and kicking you down at times. We have to pick ourselves up and keep going, and it's not easy. So my first question to you is, your book title is powerful. What does my Adam in a coma represent in real life? Excuse me, what does my Adam is in a coma represent in real life?
Well, actually, I'm a single woman, unfortunately over 55, who has been waiting for the man typology for the second Adam. And we know that second Adam is Christ. But when I speak of God, please wake up my Adam, he is in a coma, that came as a result of me crying out in the wee hours on behalf of singles. Like, Lord, it's a bunch of women out here. They got it going on. They got great credit. They got good jobs. They don't have a bunch of baggage. What on earth is going on? And so the Lord took me to Genesis 2:18, pertaining to when he put Adam in a coma. And he was asleep and comatose, and how he had to pull woman out his side. And then when he woke up, he named woman and said, "You are flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, you shall be called woman." Now let me take it to now. So I said, God, what does this mean now? With these men being in a coma, because a pastor asked in one of my interviews, how could you be awoke in your man be in coma? I said, well, let me explain that to you. I
Mm-hmm.
said, on behalf of a bunch of women, I'm speaking on behalf of some women now, that maybe that gentleman woke up and he was supposed to find his wife, but then he became comatose by a spiritual coma. And that's what that means in real time. That is not a natural coma, but a spiritual coma. Meaning, let's take, for example, Delilah's spirit. You know, in the Bible, that spirit wants to strip a man of his strength. Or a Jezebel spirit that wants to manipulate a man. And that Jezebel spirit inadvertently causes a weak man. Ahab was her man.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lust spirit. And so he gets clipped up by whatever this demonic force is or whatever this cloud is, and it spiritually comatoses him. So you got these women over here in real time, like you said, wondering what on earth is going on. I'm past 30, I'm past 40, I'm past
Mm-hmm.
50, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still waiting. But where is he? Well, he can't see you, boo-boo, because he's in a coma. And he needs to be awoke from that spiritual coma. And you got to really pray for your futuristic husband that anything that would try to block his vision, any scales that will be on his eyes, any hindrances that will keep him from seeing you and
Mm-hmm.
obtaining his favor, that you need to pray against that, women of God. So that's what that means in real time.
Amen. I know. Well, I'm also single as well, and it's just one of those things where, you want to. It's nothing wrong building by yourself, right? It's nothing wrong, but sometimes we get in a little space where we're supposed to have our husband, we're supposed to have our man with us, and create this foundation. What does it look like to be building something while emotionally or spiritually disconnected?
Well, I try not to ever be spiritually disconnected. That's just for
Mm-hmm.
me. I don't know about somebody else. I can
Mm-hmm.
talk to you about trying to build and
Correct.
still being spiritually connected, but going through something. See, it's a
Mm-hmm.
difference because you can be going through something. You can be down. You can be grieving. You can be hurt. You can be disappointed, but yet you can still have a spiritual connection to God. Does that mean that you're really praying for him to really help you? Or does that mean that you are earnestly believing on the levels you should believe? Maybe not, but you haven't really totally walked away from that bloodline or that connection with God. The
Mm-hmm.
Bible says in Galatians 6:9, do not be weary in your well doing. And I've had to, in real time, because I know you like that word, real time, as I've been trying to build and as I have gone through all these different emotions
Mm-hmm.
in dating or waiting, I've
Mm-hmm.
had to constantly encourage myself and remind myself that this is a promise that God told me was going to come to pass. So being that it's a promise that's going to come to pass, then when I get in those spaces, I call them dark spaces,
Mm-hmm.
or depressed, or spaces where I want to eat 5 gallons of ice cream, or spaces where I think, man, I'm just old, nobody wants me. I should have done this when I was 25, or
Mm-hmm.
spaces like I can't go to another wedding. I'm sick and tired of attending a wedding and I ain't got no man. You feel me on all of that?
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure
I would
do.
have to constantly encourage
Mm-hmm.
me
Yep.
to keep hanging on and not question my value, not question my self-worth, not
Mm-hmm.
question, that God said he was going to do it for me, not downplay me, minimize me because I
Right.
am single, but continually working, maximizing my singleness. And I ain't going to sit back and just do nothing and be stagnant in a stupor because I want to
Mm-hmm.
be married. That ain't going down like that. Been there,
Mm-hmm.
done that. So that's how I encourage oneself through those situations, though still trying to stay spiritually connected. Because if I'm not connected no more, that's not a good place.
No, definitely agree. And I think
Mm-hmm.
because from my experience, a lot of the foundation for a lot of people that I know is that they are spiritually connected. And
Mm-hmm.
because you got to tap into faith to get through a lot. Whether it's
Exactly.
personal self or personal, dealing with family and friends. How do you tell? Like, how do we tell people? How do we tell people how to heal? If you're consistently moving, if you feel like you're at that pace where you can't even slow down to heal, but you have to. What type of advice
Mm-hmm.
would you give to those people?
That's a hard place to be in. Because I've been in situations where I am single, so I have to work, I have to grind. I'm
Right.
not at a point where I could just sit back and my bills are going to pay themselves, or somebody's going to pay
Mm-hmm.
them for me, or I have a husband, fiance, boyfriend, none of that. So in healing, this is just for me now. I hope this is encouraging to somebody else. I try to take time out and do things that I enjoy by myself. Like I love the beach. I'll go sit at a beach, be
Mm-hmm.
around some water, do something that I enjoy in a quiet space where I can hear from God. He can minister to me. He can encourage me,
Mm-hmm.
just time out for all the stuff that may be going on around me that may not be conducive to my healing. So I try to strategically take out times, but still yet build or
Right.
still yet work or still yet be plugged in because I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a day here, 2 days there, a weekend there, or whatever, I do things that, now the bad thing I've done too much of is I shop like crazy. Okay. I had, I had to rebuke me from the store.
Yes.
I went to the store
Yes.
today because it's something about getting out of
Yeah.
being stuck inside and
Mm-hmm.
being around other people, because sometimes the enemy will make you try to isolate yourself.
Yes.
And in that isolation, I'm not talking about a healthy isolation. I'm not talking about an isolation where you say, okay, I'm going to the beach, I'm gonna get on jet
Mm-hmm.
ski or do horseback riding. I'm not talking about that. I'm gonna go to the arcade, jump on a
Mm-hmm.
trampoline, zip line, whatever it may be. But a lot of times when you're in a rough place, there's something called unhealthy isolation too.
Yeah.
And so I know for me, being by myself every day, working by myself every day, not even receiving a hug.
Yeah.
And it's healthy to get a hug. It's healthy for somebody to say, I love you. It's healthy for somebody to say, I got your back. And not
Mm-hmm.
receiving any of that. Sometimes it helps me to be in a space with people and I just go shop. And I try to put myself on a budget. So
Mm-hmm.
today I went to Ross because it's Senior Citizens Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get me a discount if I purchase anything.
Yes.
So sometimes I just do that, get around. And another bad habit, and I'm trying to curtail that too.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my friends that are on here can attest to it. They can sit here and type in my favorite restaurant because they will ask me, are you at Copper Canyon again? Because I got to detox from that too. Because
Right.
sometimes I will go and just sit and meet people while I'm in the restaurant. And
Yes.
just that little interactive time
Yes.
does wonders for you
Mm-hmm.
when you are alone and you're going through and just meeting new people. And, those are just some of the things I try to do to help me heal or move
Mm-hmm.
on when I'm going through difficult times.
I mean, I could definitely relate. There's nothing you said that isn't something that, I mean, for me, I would do the same thing. It's a matter. So I cover events. So sometimes I don't want to go. Right. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, I don't want to be around people. I'm going through this. I don't know if I'm in the right mood. I don't know if I'm going to have my
Mm-hmm.
usual energy because what I'm dealing with, I'm really trying to like mentally
Mm-hmm.
pocket it, understand it, dissect it, and deal with it so I can get
Mm-hmm.
over with it. And then, but I got this event to go to. And sometimes what happens is when I go to that event and I want to go, I'll meet some of the most amazingest people that will have one of the most amazingest conversations. I'll be like, if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't leave, I would never have this
You
conversation that
never
would put
had
me
that
on to this
conversation.
or would encourage me. So that is definitely so true where even though you're still in movement, within that movement, you got to find the time to heal within that movement. And then, like you said, when you do slow down, because there are times where I don't have an event to go to, and I will go to a restaurant with my laptop,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'll
Mm-hmm.
sit there by
Mm-hmm.
myself because guess what? I love my work. I want to still do my work, but I also feel
Right.
like I have that peace of mind. And then guess what'll happen? People go, oh, you got your laptop out here? What you do? And the people be asking me all these questions, and then literally that's how I get meeting other people. So it's one of those things where you really have to put yourself out there, but do it within a way that's something that you want to do, and you literally you literally explain that, and I could so relate to it. My last question: do you have any like so what I'm trying to get our audience to understand is like we both are two completely different people, yet we have similar ways in processing or going through our healing while we are on our journeys or while we're doing what we're doing, you know and I think it takes a certain mindset to be
Mm-hmm.
there, right? What about and I always think about people because I'm like, if it's this hard for me, right, what can I do for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it's harder for you if
Mm-hmm.
you're already not in that mental state. What's the
Mm-hmm.
most important advice or thing you can say when you are on this journey to healing, while you're working, while you're doing everything, while we want all this? How do we pause, acknowledge it within ourselves, and make that change? Because that's really what it is. It's us
Mm-hmm.
making that heart that heart to heart talk with ourselves and saying, listen, this is what it is, but this is what you got to do, and it ain't gonna be easy.
Mm-hmm. You have to, self-examination, and you have to decide that you want to change. Again, for me as a believer, the Bible says in Exodus 15:26, I am the Lord that heals thee. So my strength, it come from a different place versus someone who wasn't saved. Because I
Mm-hmm.
haven't always been saved.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been through stuff when I wasn't saved,
Mm-hmm.
and I was leaning at that time on my own strength, telling myself, you could do it, motivating myself, come out of
Mm-hmm.
this rut. I had to have a strong type of personality with respect
Mm-hmm.
to encouragement to myself. And so now the assistance I have, I thank God, because I don't know how I did it all those years, but I've been through some stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And almost lost my mind, almost took my life. I did not want to be here anymore. Looked
Right.
at knives and things, ready to cut myself up, almost tried to stay drugged out so I didn't have to think about the
Right.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I tried to deal with the problem through some other means, some things that would just delay the problem. The problem was still there. So I had to get to a point, even in an unsafe state, and say, okay, enough is enough is enough is enough. Do I really want to live? Do I want to die? Do I want to reach the heights and depths that I have even wanted to reach as a child? And the
Mm-hmm.
difference is now in God, I have an assignment. I know I have a calling. I know I have a purpose. I know God has a
Mm-hmm.
plan for my life. It's a little different because when things get totally rough, then I have to remind myself of that.
Yep.
When I started thinking about, what, do I even matter? You know, I mean, these are real
Mm-hmm.
thoughts that single people go through,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they don't get that love and everything else. Sometimes you got to be careful that you
Yeah.
don't question your existence,
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, because I am a believer, God has had to be the one to carry my arms, encourage me, speak life over me when the enemy is speaking death over me. Speak
Mm-hmm.
life over me when some other person is saying something negative to me. Speak life over me when my own mindset is talking negative to
Yes.
me. And so just knowing that there's so much more for me. And what would I accomplish if I check out and just be happy for the rest of my life? I'm just, it just is what it is. What would I
Mm-hmm.
accomplish if I just say, okay, I'm just going to be a drunk? Unfortunately, I come from a history of some ancestors that drank a lot, and that's how they cope with their situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I will not be that statistic. I will not be that number.
Yeah.
My thing wasn't doing alcohol. My thing was sniffing cocaine and trying to stay high, and, keep myself
Mm-hmm.
bubbly when adversities tried to come. But
Mm-hmm.
now the only thing I'm sniffing is God. I'm just saying.
Amen. Listen, I mean, that's the truth. And I think that's a lot of people needed to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
We all ain't, everybody didn't always start the way that they ended up. We had to go through some real
Mm-hmm.
serious things to make us reflect, right? And then literally that reflection is you going to God and having faith in it, your life will change. And I'm not sorry, but that is the formula. That's what I
Right.
have seen. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why, our faith is tested in the way it's tested. Yeah, some people may wait till it's really down and out, but the fact that you even got to the point where you're acknowledging that there's a higher power that you just give everything to, and you will be okay, but you have to have some sort of faith. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't just say you have faith and not actually be a good person. You can't have this faith and not actually do things that are righteous for yourself, right? We not like one of my slogans is you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's something that's really important. And you literally spoke of that. We all don't start
Mm-hmm.
this way, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna stay there, and it's like the strength that you have when you're there. It's like it's infectious energy. Like I'm getting that
Mm-hmm.
from you. Like I can hear it in your voice. I see it
Mm-hmm.
like in your everything in you is like I'm ready for this. This is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
proud. You know what I mean? So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's just so amazing. I'm so glad that you've been able to share that with our audience. I want to say thank you so much for your time. And if there's any last word or anything that you want our audience to know, please feel free and talk to our audience.
Yes, ma'am. We haven't said a thing about my book or movie.
Yes.
So there's no way I'm hanging up off of here and not talking about that. Okay. The movie is called I Am She, She Is Her. It is
Mm-hmm.
on Tubi and about 160 other platforms.
Okay.
There were two women who came to us via a friend of mine, Overseer Billy Hall, saying they wanted to do something, a docu-series film on women creating a safe space one for another. We have
Mm.
women that are gatekeepers who want to block other women. They don't want to help women excel. We have women who speak word curses over other women. We have women that even look at your man and try to snatch your man. Women can be treacherous one to another. I'm an apostle, and I got women that still want to call me sis or girlfriend all the time, out of order. But if a man came who was an apostle, they wouldn't call him bro. So it's
Mm.
about creating a safe space, one for another, really being my sister's keeper. With some very high profile women in there that share their journey about how doors were shut on. And one lady said that people tried to shut doors on her because they couldn't tell she was black or white, and they thought she was cute because she was high yellow. I'm just saying
Mm.
stupid stuff over a
Mm-hmm.
complexion. So they tried
Mm-hmm.
to give her a hard time on the job. And so the docuseries film is about that. Me and a film producer I manage by the name of Michael Chin, we produced it together, and his wife, Desiree Chin, played a role in the production as well. And so I thought, it was a good idea to bring it to Michael, and we prayed about it. And so there it is. And so it's out. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I can't talk about the book without the movie is because it's a double miracle. Because I had given up on writing anymore, because it's not my first book. I had given up on writing, and I had given up on thinking I would work back in the movie business when my
Mm-hmm.
mom passed. I told God I'll never write because my mom was my editor. She can't edit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to do no scripts. I stopped writing for Christian magazines I was writing for. I just shut all my gifts down. And I want to encourage somebody about that, because but I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. The publisher of my book, God, please wake up my Adam. He is
Mm-hmm.
in a coma. She called me to write in somebody else's book. She called me to write in several books.
Okay.
And I told her, I'm done. I don't do that no more. Her name is Talisha Berry. And she bugged me to the point where I got kind of mean with her. I said, did you not understand it? I said, I don't write no more. It's overdone. I told God I'm done. It's in the trunk. Don't
Mm-hmm.
bother me. It's gone in the storage. My mama ain't here to edit. She ain't here to see it. She ain't here to see what God is doing in my life. I'm done. And so she finally came to me and she said, well, listen, Apostle, we're running out of time. We're past the time that these books need to go to print. And I know you're supposed to be in those books. And she
Mm-hmm.
said, did you ask God? And I said, you know what? That's how you get through to me. You asked me,
Mm-hmm.
did I ask God?
Mm-hmm.
And I went to God, and God said, write the books. And so I wrote a couple of forwards, wrote stories in other people's books, and wrote a full-fledged book for somebody that went to number one, but wouldn't do it for me. So this is why this book is so important to me. God, please wake up my Adam. He is still in a coma, because it was a result of me praying for singles who are waiting for their mates, but it was also a result of me activating. Someone talk to somebody who has a dormant gift inside of them right now, or maybe they were so downtrodden, they were so depressed, they were so grieved over their situation, they're not moving out in their gifting. And so it became activated in me. And so the book and the movie came out around the same time.
Wow. Well,
So
listen.
even when you think you're going to shut it down, when you think you talking about writing and building while you going through yourself.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Wasn't like
Yes.
I had 5 diamond rings sitting on my finger when I was writing.
Yes.
Come on, somebody. And then God tells me to do it anyhow. And I want to encourage somebody tonight, because I just feel in my spirit from this healing topic you're talking about, that because somebody is bound and hurt and sore and deprived in the, with respect to feeling the love or feeling great or whatever it may be, they are hindering their gifting being multiplied, and they're holding back on the things that God has for them. And I just feel like encouraging somebody, because God did a double miracle with me. And if he could do a double miracle with me, he could do that with somebody else.
Drops the mic. Like, and then that's the truth. That's the fact. I mean, when I tell you, you've spoken the word, you've spoken the emotion, you've spoken things that I've been thinking in my head. I'm sure our audience can relate to as well. Thank you so much for your time. That was so powerful. We're definitely going to make sure that we highlight the book in this movie. Y'all make sure to check out inspiremag.com. We are definitely going to feature and share some more information. Apostle Dr. Veryl Howard, thank you so much for your time. You have been such a joy, and we are definitely going to be in touch.
Thank you. And they can find the book on Amazon and Kindle, and the movie is on Tubi and 100 and some other platforms. But everybody knows who's Tubi is, so I can't list 160 platforms. Somebody said, yeah, I can't do it. So my friend Shamika said while we were on here tonight, Shamika Ross, she said, I just bought the book. Thank you, Shamika.
Yes. Look at that support. Support. We love it. Awesome.
And thank you so much for having me, Prophetess Kiana. I see you. Thank you, all my friends that came to support me tonight. I can't see everybody, but the ones that I saw, I thank you for coming out and supporting me, and thank you for sharing your platform.
Amazing. Of course, and anytime. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Bye-bye. So y'all see what we doing on this week's Tuesday Talks. I'm not playing with y'all. I am not playing with y'all. Now we've talked about the internal side of building while healing. Now we're going to talk about how this shows up in careers, visibility, and burnout. And one thing I have been through is burnout. So I want to bring on our next guest. All right, Doneisha, she's on here. Perfect, amazing. Doneisha Dom B is a PR visibility strategist, wellness expert, and burnout coach who helps entrepreneurs get clear on their message, show up with confidence, and turn their content into clients. With over 15 years in marketing and communication, she blends strategy with alignment to help women build brands that are both visible and sustainable. When I tell you I ain't playing, I'm sorry, I know I'm doing this for y'all, but I feel like it's for me. So good evening. My second guest.
Hi.
How are you? So pleasure to meet you.
I know. Nice to officially meet you. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I love what you're doing. And yes, I'm doing well. I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Can't complain. It's stepping out and doing something that I have been holding on for so long, and it's just now putting that foot forward and doing it. It's like the joy in actually doing it. So now I feel like this is going to keep going. I was only going to do like 5 episodes, but we're going to keep this bad boy rolling. So I'm just blessed to be able to connect with people like you who understand the importance of my platform, of the messaging and what is it that we're trying to do. And you're very authentic and real. So, I definitely appreciate that. And you joining this conversation today. So our theme with you is burnout, visibility, and strategy, because you already knew this was your conversation. So let's start off. What does burnout actually look like for high performing women?
Yes. So thank you so much for asking, because burnout looks different for everyone. And it can look different in different seasons. I have a whole workbook on Amazon that talks about the different burnout signs and symptoms. And I think it's important for all of us, especially high performing women, to recognize the signs early, right? And the body keeps the score, right? So our body is sometimes talking to us, but we wait until our body is like screaming at us to pay attention. So everyone's signs and symptoms can look different, but some common signs, right, can be like your heart palpitations. You can feel like you're resting or getting sleep, but you're still always tired. Or it can look like you're just not in alignment. It can look like you're showing up, you're doing everything, and on paper and on the outside, everything looks good. But inside, internally, you're not fulfilled. You're exhausted. You're even feeling resentful because you're doing things that you don't really want to do.
Correct.
Or you're somewhere you don't really want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So burnout can look like just feeling so exhausted, so disconnected, and just not feeling like yourself.
And I feel like some people aren't, because I don't feel like I knew what that was at first, because I felt like I just kept going. But like you said, I think it was until my body was like, you gonna stop right now because your leg about to give out. You're gonna have these pains in your chest. You're gonna get these headaches. Your teeth gonna hurt. You gotta sit down.
Right. Yes, you are so right. So you mentioned headaches, right? Headaches, migraines, all of those different things. And even how we keep going, right? I remember I didn't know what burnout was either because, in society and just growing up as being a strong Black woman, right?
Yep.
The superwoman syndrome. And I realized that I thought burnout was a badge of honor. When I tell you, girl, I would be proud and bragging on being burnt out. I was like, yes, I work 15-hour days. I only got 2 hours of sleep. I was bragging about it and people were commending me.
Yeah,
they were like, yes,
go. You sound crazy.
Right. Then you realize burnout is bigger than you think. Burnout is serious and it is not worth it. Listen, I do not prescribe to the grind culture, the sleep when you're dead. If you sleep when you're dead.
There has to be another way that we like, you can say you grind. Like I'm all for it. Get it in the mud. We grind and we do, but it's like, we not really grinding till our nails are like way down. We got like, I feel like there's a context that we got to use it differently. So that way we don't always have it in our mind that this is, because you're literally talking about burnout. Like that's what you're doing. And it's not good. It's not healthy, period. No one should really at any age. Cause if you're young and you're getting burnt out, you ain't going to have none left when you get a little older. If you're doing it when you're older, you ain't going to have that much to be burning out on. So it's literally like, how we use these terms, how we physically use the terms, and what it actually means to us in revelation to like your health, your sanity, your well-being. And that literally sounds like what you just described. I want to say, we can relate to this, right? But it's like sometimes now we burn out, we saying we still got to be visible. We still have to be out there, right? How do you stay visible and build a brand without draining yourself? Because that, to me, I'm still struggling with it, but I think I'm a lot better than what I used to be. But I feel like you, the expert, would have the right advice.
Yeah, so thank you for asking. And I'm glad that you are acknowledging that you're not where you used to be, right? Because we have to give ourselves grace and we have to celebrate all wins because progress is progress. We are all trying to figure it out one day at a time, honestly. So I love that you're saying that and acknowledging that because that's powerful in itself. And you're right. There's seasons like grinding, hustling. Like you have to work. You have to get to the bag. You have to work hard in this life. Nothing is handed to you. But it's about having that balance because balance looks different every day, right? So you can't have too many seasons. Honoring your capacities, which I teach my clients. And when I speak at events, honoring your capacity because everyone, like, balance looks different for me than it does for you, right? You may be able to go X amount of days straight without taking a break, and I may not be able to go that many days, right? So that's what's important is to know your capacity first. And then when it comes to, like you said, being visible without draining yourself, that also looks different. What I think first is important is we need to put ourselves on our to-do list and on our calendar. We put everything else on the calendar. We put when we have any appointments we have, whether we have to take care of our family or friends, date night, time with friends, you put your doctor's appointments, we put this on the calendar, right? Instagram Live, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We put it on the calendar and we're here, right? We did that. We showed up for today. But when do we put ourselves on the calendar and say, you know what, I'm going to actually time block myself, time with myself, or time to do something for myself, time to pour back into myself, right? Because we can't pour from an empty cup.
Not at all.
Right? I've tried it. It doesn't work. So that's the first thing. And then it's about, of course, having systems,
right,
planning, having someone that can even help you. And that's why I have the Visible and Aligned workshop coming up if anyone wants to come in. But it's really important because there's so many things we can do, like batching your content, right? We want to be visible. We want to be on all the different platforms. It may not be strategic to try to be everywhere, right? Unless you have a team or you really are having the systems, you're planning your content, you're scheduling it. Not everyone can do everything. So I recommend not comparing yourself. Don't compare yourself to what someone else is doing and try to do that.
If I had like yes. Yes.
We don't need to overwork ourselves to be seen. It's about being clear with our message and getting to the right people and knowing that we don't have to do everything and be everywhere in order to be visible. That saves your energy in itself.
I agree. I've been through that. Like when I first started the magazine so many years ago, It was like, you know, I could do this. I mean, honestly, I was younger, so I had more energy, so I ain't even gonna hold you. Right.
Right. Listen.
But it was like, as time got on, it was just like, you know, for what I said, I feel like everyone's positive. So everyone is my audience. No. And that's what I was trying to reach everybody. And once I realized that if I look at those who are following and supporting, that's my audience. And it turned out to be
Yes.
women of color, 30 to 40 plus, Gen
Come
Z and
on.
millennials, like specific. And once I figured that out, it was like a whole game changer. It was like, okay, I really don't need to be on all these platforms. I need to build in the community that's actually already there instead of thinking I don't need to be like everybody else. And that was the problem. And I went through that. I didn't need to. And once I overcame that thought and again saw other successful publishers or people who have followings and they were like, who's your audience? They have an audience. That's it. They're not it's not everybody. And that to me was thinking smarter, not harder, and not being on I didn't have to be on TikTok. I'm not about to be doing TikTok business. No. All right. We're not doing that. The most I'm gonna give y'all this live, give y'all conversations and some articles and interviews because those are my strong points. I can do it in my sleep. And like you said, it can be repurposed on the specific platforms that I know my specific audience is on. I am not doing TikTok dances, y'all. Okay.
Let me just say they say you hit the nail on the head or whatever. You just mic drop because you said something very key. And I don't want people to miss this. You said knowing your audience. Knowing your audience is so key. I remember when I first started my business, I'm like, oh, I can help everyone. I can just help everyone, but having a niche and knowing your target audience, it saves you stress. It saves you time, energy, money. It saves you everything. So I think that's very important that you said that. It is definitely a game changer. So I really want people to focus in on that. And even you talk about repurposing content, right? That's very important as well. So
like this whole game is stressful, like honestly, but again, if you figure the formula out, you reduce your burnout. You do what you're comfortable with. You don't wake up feeling like you left something. And that's, again, I didn't know that at first either. It took some time, literally maybe almost like 2-3 years ago, right? I really figured that out. And once I figured that out, it was literally like the brightest light that hit me. And I felt proud of that, and then I didn't feel like I was burning. I was doing too much. I felt like it felt right. You know what I mean? So when it feels right, it feels light. Like I didn't feel heavy in my chest, and that's a word too. Oh,
come on, listen. No,
one.
that's good. Listen, when it feels right, it feels light. And that is so that is so powerful. You just said something that is a word, is a bar, is a whole message right there. You can do a whole post on just that. Just let the people know. You might have to just
because we're gonna record this, hit this back, and we're gonna hit that moment.
Yes. No, because that's so important. And it's about what feels right? What feels authentically you.
Yes.
And I think it's also important with what is aligned with your purpose. Also, what is God calling you to do? What is the Holy Spirit leading you to do? So it's so much. We can go on a whole different level.
I felt that when you just said the Holy Spirit. Oh, okay. We can talk about that because that's also part of it is, again, everybody got to understand, I don't know what you believe in, but you got to tap into some sort of faith. That's it.
Amen.
Otherwise, you really are going to defeat yourself because it shouldn't just be on yourself. You literally have a higher power that's going to take it away from you, but you just got to believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And this didn't happen overnight. My last interview, the one just before you, it was all the internal work, And then once the internal work was done, it was all right, now we can bring it out here. So my next question for you that segue into that, if someone feels overwhelmed and they feel invisible, what's one thing that they should do this week for themselves? Like what would you what advice would you give a client if they just, had their shoulders like this, and they didn't know what to do? What would be the first thing you would tell them to start with?
So that is a great question. It's so many different things. It's like, okay, do you really want just one thing or can I give you a few?
Let's go with the few because the few don't help a lot. So let's go. I'm with it.
So, so the first thing that I would recommend is to get clear on one message. Like, what is your one message? What is that one thing that you do? What is that one solution? What is that one problem that you solve? Get clear on that first, right? Know who is your target audience. What is your customer avatar? Like, who is the person that you're speaking to? Who is your ideal customer? That's something that I would recommend. And then I would definitely think about creating a wellness wheel. This is something that I share with everyone, is to assess yourself. So when it comes to wellness, right? When it comes to burnout, I feel like everything is connected emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, socially, all of it, right? It's all connected. And that is how we can prioritize our wellness, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, assess yourself honestly, like journal and see, what are you rating yourself in every area? Your lowest areas, I would say, do at least one thing that's going to help that area where you're feeling overwhelmed. At least one thing this week. Today is only Tuesday. So you could actually implement something by the end of the week.
Definitely
And that
agree.
could mean I'm going to start taking breaks. I'm going to start drinking more water. I'm going to start going to sleep earlier. I'm going to start journaling. I'm going to start practicing gratitude. I'm going to start praying. I'm going to start, whatever it is you need to do more of, that is going to help you, because sometimes we just going. We don't stop. And I recommend journaling for everyone. I know some of my clients, I don't like journaling. If you don't want to write it down, then you can do audio journaling. Talk into your phone. Talk into your phone. Do a video, a video journal. Like, you have to get some of those thoughts out and write it out, get it out of your head. Because when you're feeling overwhelmed, you could be feeling overwhelmed from a lot of different things. You're feeling stuck. Get outside and move your body. Like, there's so many different things I would recommend, but that's where I would start, because that's going to help you in every area of your life, so you can actually move forward. And when you start thinking about posting, think about, is this aligned with who I am and what I want to do? Write down your goals.
For you. That made me think about something. So, because that's what I think I did it for. So, like, that all makes sense, right? Let's say you had an emotional day, you felt a way about somebody, right? And you just want to put it on Facebook, like just kind of. Should you pause and then you say that to yourself, or do you be like, you know what? Because it's in my head, it's in my thought. I just want to get it out. I don't care. What would be like? How would that? What advice would you give on that?
No, that's actually a good question. So the thing is, I like to think about things like this. Okay, when it comes to a post, something like that, you're posting about someone kind of subliminally, right? You're frustrated. How is that going to help? I would ask yourself, how is this going to help? Because if your goal is to do that to hope the person sees it and hope they feel some type of way, 90% of the time they may not even see it, or they may not even know it's about them. And your whole intent was to do that, and they like going on with their life. So you should probably journal it out, process those emotions, and move on, because they've already moved on. And at the end of the day, sometimes think about it for 5 minutes. They say if it still bothers you after 5 minutes, the 5 minute rule, like if it doesn't bother you after 5 minutes, it's probably not that important, So think about it, assess, does this person really matter to me? And if they do, maybe you should talk to them about it. Maybe you should talk to them, talk it out with them, because I used to be like, oh, easy to throw people away. Like, oh, I'm done. Cut people off. No, this is a cancel culture. Everybody's quick to be like, I'm done, right? But sometimes maybe you want to write it out and then talk to them maybe the next day or something, and schedule like, hey, can we talk? Send them a voice memo. Maybe you want to call them or have an in-person meetup, because if that person is valuable to you in your life, you may want to actually keep that connection, and you may be just frustrated in that moment and feeling emotional, so you have to assess. You know how they say you have to know your Peter from your Judas, right? Someone that has a bad character or just a bad day, so it's really about knowing who belongs in your life, because you don't want to burn any bridges, and you don't want to cut ties that could be your destiny helper. So
right.
We need community. We are meant to be together, and none of us are perfect. So that's what I've learned, to give grace to others and to myself, because no one's perfect, and a lot of times people don't really mean it. And we have to just forgive, honestly.
And I mean, I ask because again, this is what it is. Talk about it Tuesday. I really all these topics are a reflection of things that I have either been through or I'm going through. And it was interesting because one of my friends, Zach, he actually just joined us live, and I will post stuff, right? And then I'll get a message from him like, who you like, do they even care? Take that down, like literally. And I say to him, no, I wanted, and it's like, and sometimes it's honest. Like I'll look back like 5 minutes after that, and I'm like, damn, it really didn't hit the effect that I wanted to do because I was emotional, right? So that what it made me think was, all right, you just probably need to really do a 5 minute with yourself. Anytime something flutters you or angers you, sit with it, deal with it, write it out, and then see if you still feel the same way. So, again, this is what I'm not saying I do this all the time, but this is what I'm working on. Okay.
But you know what? Thank you for saying that, because you're helping somebody. You're being vulnerable. We have all done that before. Listen, I don't think anybody's exempt that has social media, unless you're just a real 100% lurker and you just don't ever post anything and you just watch everybody's stuff, But no, I thank you for saying that, because we've all been there, and you're showing that. And that's even growth by saying that. You asked the question, and I'm sure somebody's like, you know what? Now they're going to think about it next time they feel like that. So
definitely.
Shout out to Zach. Shout out to you, because listen, talk about the True Tuesday. That's what we talk about. Talk about it Tuesday.
That's what it's about. And definitely appreciate that reflection. Everybody who's tuning in, thank you so much. Again, I'm just so excited to bring back these Tuesday talks. It's literally therapy for me, but I hope it's also therapy for y'all. I want to ask you one last question. What are people doing wrong when showing up online, if that makes any sense?
Yes. And like you said, thank you for everyone that has joined, and even people that watched the replay. And thank you for even doing this. I'm so excited for you and proud of you for getting back started with this live. It takes a lot, but you're doing it, and you're going to keep doing it. And I'm super excited. So I will be tuning in whenever I can. But yes, what are people doing wrong? Listen, what are people doing wrong? So first thing is overthinking it, because a lot of people A lot of people overthink the content, overthink the post, and then they never post it.
Yep.
So then you are going to be invisible because guess what? All those thoughts are in your head. Nobody knows what you do. You have something in you that God has deposited into you, but you can't even walk in your purpose because you're overthinking it and comparing yourself to others and trying to be perfect. So I just want to pause there so people can realize like
Yeah.
that's the number one thing because no one is perfect. The best performing content is when you don't overthink it. And when you just post the content, just post it. Like somebody's gonna see it. Just post it, be consistent. So yeah, I think that's the number one thing. And then also just being online, but not really creating. So you don't want to consume more than you create. You want a balance. A lot of people are just on and they're just doom scrolling all day, every day, and then they haven't posted anything.
What's the point?
Yeah, what is the point? I mean, at the end of the day, unless you're not trying to build a business, build a brand, have a thriving business, increase your visibility. If you don't have any of those goals, then yeah, then it really is 100% just social and just entertainment for you. If that's the case, then okay, that's different. But I think it's important to also be consistent. I take breaks. I take breaks all the time, even from social media. But I think it's important to actually be, if you're trying to do something, like do it. Plan the content, batch the content, schedule the content, create a content plan, and put it out there. And put it out there. There is really money to be made and there's really lives that you can change. Someone needs what you have, but guess what? You're overthinking it. Oh, the market is oversaturated. Oh, there's other magazines out there. Oh, there's other coaches out there. Oh, there's other PR strategists out there. It doesn't matter. There's only one you. So don't overthink it. Don't compare and just do it. Like Nike, just do it.
Yep.
Period.
No, Doneisha, you hit it where it needs to be. You hit it on the point where it needed to be spoken of in regards to that, especially again, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you have to be online. Don't compare yourself. Get it out. Just like all your, when you look through your phone, you have all these events, put that out there. Just do it, right? And that's literally, again, like it's tapping because I'm like, that's what I've been told. And it's like, it's a fight, but it's like, it's the realest advice. It's what makes sense. And that's what keeps you on there yourself. Like, I don't follow nobody who I don't think is authentic. I don't follow anybody who I don't think I'm going to learn from. I don't follow anybody I think I can connect with. So again, like if that's what I'm seeing, that's what I'm interested in. That's what I need to be doing as well. Be authentic, be real. Don't sweat it. Just do it, So I want to say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this conversation. I know it definitely reaffirmed for me, and I hope it reaffirmed and answered and opened eyes and lights for our audience based on this conversation. Those of you who are entrepreneurs, those of you who are on social media, those of you who are just, continuing to work towards a goal, and it may not feel like you're not getting it shouldn't be a race. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a race. You should take your time, develop yourself, and figure out and do what you love because you're going to enjoy it. And the way time is going right now, you're going to miss it, So, let's take our time. And I definitely want to say thank you so much. And to close out, please let our audience know what you have going on, anything new. And I'm definitely going to make sure everybody follows you as well.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. It has been a pleasure and honor. I don't ever take it lightly when anyone invites me to their platform because I know what it takes to really have someone on your platform, whether they're a guest, whether you're collaborating. So I thank you. It's an honor. And this has been a great conversation. Yeah. I am launching a Visible and Aligned workshop series. So it's a great deal. It is 4 sessions. It starts this Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm really excited. Everyone that has attended either my content workshops, my public speaking workshops, they all leave feeling just more confident, having more clarity, connecting with other people. So definitely keeping it intimate intentionally. But the link is in my bio. I would love for you all to join in. And then I'm also going to have some in-person workshops. But although I'm here in Los Angeles, so I know everyone is different places, but there's going to be a lot more coming. I do still offer one-on-one coaching. I offer different packages, VIP packages, VIP intensity packages. So if anyone wants to get someone to help with their PR or social media, I definitely am here to support you. Just let me know. You can click the link in my bio also to complete the consultation form so we can jump on a call. So thank you so much.
We professionals here. You ain't going to just waste this woman's time, okay? You got to fill out the form, okay? For those who don't know, that's just going to keep
Thank you. Listen, thank you. You know what? Thank you so much. Let me tell you, when I first started my business, I just want to be a blessing to others. I'm like, oh, I just want to help. I just want to help. But it's like, I am a full-time entrepreneur. And yes,
we got to get paid for our time too while helping. You listen, scramble up your money. Just make sure you know how much it is. Plan ahead. That's it. Like, don't waste nobody's time if you ain't got the money.
Right. Invest in yourself, invest in your business. And it's only the workshops. It's only $50 per workshop. That is a great deal, honestly. That's a great deal. So If I were you, I would join because there's goals you had in January and it's almost May and you haven't started working on them. Let's take you from idea to launch. Let's help you increase your visibility. Let's help you get clear. Let's help you make your page look more aesthetically pleasing. It's so much that we can do. So,
I love it.
yes.
Thank you so much, Doneisha. This was amazing. I feel like we'll probably have another conversation because why not?
Right, exactly. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I
Right.
do want to say, I know some people are like, well, life coach John, she's doing PR. So let me just share that because I do have my PR page as well. So I have been a life coach, certified life coach, and trauma informed. I'm also ordained and licensed minister. So I've been doing the coaching for 7 years, but I have been in PR and marketing for over 15 years.
Wow.
So after I left my corporate job, that's when I started my own PR marketing agency. So I am doing the coaching and the PR marketing. So that's kind of where that aligns. So you're not
It
like,
does.
yeah.
If you're in the industry, you'll understand why it aligns.
Come
if you have
on.
questions, you still get your $50. Ask her why it aligns.
Yes, let's build your brand without burnout. Okay. Period.
Exactly that part. Thank you so much, Doneisha. We'll definitely be talking soon.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll stay connected. Yes, we'll talk soon. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Man. So I can tell y'all, it's like I expected this, but then I didn't expect it. These were some powerful conversations. I hope that y'all were able to take something from it as much as I have been. Having my own magazine, started in 2012, rebranded on my own in 2016, 2017. I know so many amazing people. I've been in this. It's like we all in it. We all know what it is. But when you speak to someone that has a lot more knowledge than you do in a particular area, we're going to listen because that's what I do. So I just want to say tonight was amazing. Tonight wasn't just about business. It was about being honest about where we are while we're building. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're starting your own business, whatever it is that you're trying to create on your own, it's never going to be easy. We all need systems. We all need things in place to get us through there. You don't have to have it all together to keep going, but you do have to be intentional about how you show up yourself. And that's what's most important. It's definitely showing up authentic, showing up true to yourself, knowing your limits, knowing what you can do, knowing your resources, and making sure you reach out to them. You don't just do all this on your own. So, again, make sure y'all follow both of my guests. Okay, they're on the flyer. If you're following Inspire Network on Instagram, please make sure to tap into those two ladies. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you support them. When you see this live over and over again, share this with someone who needs it. If you have a friend who's just starting a hair business or, a shoe line or whatever it is, share this with them. Because again, we've all started, we all have been building, but we all need certain tips and certain things to make ourselves successful. So please make sure that y'all share this live. And then guess what? I'm going to be back next Tuesday. Okay. And let's see, what is our topic next Tuesday? Ooh, that's going to be a good episode. Money, funding, and the real conversation. So, part of this journey, part of any adult journey is making sure you handle your money correctly. How do you fund yourself? And how do we make sure that with this economy and the way things are so expensive that we are not out here struggling, that we're not just barely getting through it. We want to be able to make it through it. So I want y'all to make sure that y'all tune in next Tuesday for money, funding, and the real conversation. I'm most likely going to have one or two amazing guests on here that's going to break certain things down for y'all. And again, I appreciate you all who tuned in this Tuesday, who watch this live, who repost it, who share it, who comment, who like whatever you do in support of Inspire Magazine. I'm truly grateful because that's why I keep doing what I do. I know what I'm doing is righteous and right. And it is my calling is to reach all of y'all with these positive, authentic stories of people who can share things that can uplift and encourage you. So until then, next Tuesday, for next Tuesday's Talks with me, SA, make sure y'all follow, support, and I'll catch y'all next Tuesday. Be safe, stay positive, and all love.